Hey y'all, it's Lady Bouillon or Angela, and today I am going to walk you through a simple crochet stitch that will allow you to make some projects of your own. And you are going to learn to crochet in under 10 minutes, so stay tuned. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. This is the yarn that I'm going to be using. It's already on this spool, and if you look at the this is the label that came off that particular yarn, and here you can see the weight of the yarn and also what suggested needle size or hook size for this. You can change that. If you go smaller, your stitches are going to be tighter. If you go bigger, they're going to be looser, so it's up to you. For this particular tutorial, I am going to be using a larger needle than what's suggested, just so you guys can see the stitches a little better. I'm going to be using a 6 and they recommend a 5. Also, before we get started, just a couple things about the crochet hook. This is your handle, of course, and then this is your thumb rest. Now when you're holding it, you can hold it whatever way you feel comfortable. Some people hold it like this, some people hold it like this, and I hold it like this. It's all about comfort where this is concerned. This is the shank or the shaft of the hook. This is the throat, this is the head, and this is the little groove here underneath where the hook, where the yarn usually, that's where you usually pull it through. This particular hook is odd because right here on the end is a point and it's hard to see it, but I snag yarn all the time on this hook, but I wanted to use it because it's a little bit bigger. So we're going to get started. And again, we're going to teach you how to make a foundation chain and a simple stitch all in under 10 minutes. And you can make things like dishcloths or washcloths with this particular stitch. Okay. So I have the end of my yarn, and you want to leave a tail because the tail has to be weaved in. You don't want it to be too small. You just want it to leave a couple inches. So the first thing that we're going to be doing is making what we call a slip knot. So I'm just going to take my 2 fingers, put the yarn, and I'm going to circle it around. And you don't want to put it this way. You want to put this yarn that you bring from the back over that first yarn that you put on your finger. What I like to do is just take my hook, slide it underneath that first loop, grab it with the head and pull it through. And then as you're pulling it through, just remove your fingers, pull the yarn down here below to tighten it up. And then you can use the tail or the other yarn to pull it up on the shaft of your crochet hook. You want to make sure that you have some give. You don't want it to be too tight where this particular yarn will not move up and down freely on the crochet hook. Now what you're going to do is, and this takes a while to practice and get comfortable doing, so don't get frustrated. What you're going to do is hold your hook, and the yarn that's the yarn that's on the ball or the skein, just take it and hold it in your left hand. I just usually let mine sort of drape in there because while I'm starting my foundation chain, which is what we're going to be starting, I like to hold it right here to kind of guide as I'm starting it. So you have your loop on your crochet hook. You're going to take this yarn, wrap it around your hook there, and you want to get, it's hard to do this through the camera, but you want to get your yarn underneath that groove and you want to pull it through that loop that we just made as far as your slip knot. So that's one chain. You're going to wrap it, you're going to pull it through again, and that's 2. You're going to wrap it, pull it through again, and there's your 3rd one. You're going to wrap it, pull it through, there's 4, pull it around, there's 5, pull it around, there's 6, pull it around, there's 7, and pull around, there's 8. So we've just made 8 chains, and if you want to count again, you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I can't see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. We never count this loop that's still on our hook because if I started, that would make number 9. So we never count that one, but I have 8 chains here. Now I'm going to show you how to take this chain and turn this into the beginning of a single crochet pattern. So what you're going to do is, while you still have, you're still holding your hook, you're still holding your yarn, you're going to take your needle and you're going to insert it. If you can see here, these chains are V-shaped. So what you're going to do is insert into every one of these little sections right here. You're going to be inserting the head of your needle to make your single crochet. So it takes a little practice, but you're going to take your needle, stick it right through there, just like that. And as you stick it through there, you're going to put that yarn that you're holding in your left hand and guide it through the hole. When you do that, you have 2 loops left on your hook. At this point, you're going to take that yarn and wrap it over, and you're going to pull it through both loops. Now, it does take some practice to do that. Okay, so we've already done it into that particular chain. So we're going to move to the next one. You're going to take the head of your needle, stick it through there. Now you see, as I'm sticking it through there, it's going under that yarn because of the way I'm holding it. So now what I'm going to do is just pull the needle, getting the yarn underneath that groove, or underneath that head in the groove, pull it through. There's 2 loops. I'm going to wrap, pull it through both. Do the same thing with the next one. Stick the head of the needle in there, grab that yarn, pull it through, 2 loops, wrap it, pull through. Gonna do the next one. Stick it through there, pull it through, wrap the yarn, pull it through both. Take the head of the needle, stick it in the next chain. This one's a little tighter, so I'm going to have to work to get it in there. The yarn is there, stick it in the groove, pull it through. I have 2 loops, wrap, pull through. And you can see I'm even struggling a little bit with holding it and everything, because my hands do get tired just because of the way you hold it. But it gets easier as this gets a little bit bigger. So you take the head, and you can see that chain there, how tight it is. So I'm gonna have to force it in there a little bit, or I can just take my hands and sort of pull it apart like that. Grab that yarn, pull it through, wrap the yarn, pull it through 2 loops. I got 1 more to do. I got 2 more to do. Here we go. Pull it through. Actually, I think that's the last one. Yeah, that's the last one. So we had 8, and remember we started from on the second chain, not that first chain. So we should have 7 V-stitches across the top. So we're going to count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we've got to turn this and go back the other way. So anytime you're working with a single crochet, and that's what this is, when you get to the end, you're going to make 1 chain, which is your turning chain, and then you're going to turn this like a book, just like that. Now we're going to come back the other way, and remember we have 7, so we just made an 8th one, so we're not going to go into that stitch. We're going to start into this stitch where those V's are. And this is a lot easier in my opinion, because you're not trying to go under 1 stitch. You're actually going to be taking your needle or your hook and going under both of those stitches right there. So you're going to take this, turn it to the side, and you should see like a little hole right here. Let me put my hook through there so you can see it. So the hole is where you're going to go under those 2 V's. So you're going to take your hook, go under it. You're going to grab your yarn, wrap it just like you've been doing, pull it back through both of those. You've got your 2 loops, you're going to wrap, pull it through. That's number 1. You take your hook, go under, pull it through, 2 loops, wrap, pull it through. Take your hook, put it through those 2 loops right there. You can see it's a little tighter, so I'm going to have to force it under. And you want to make sure that you go under those 2, just like I'm doing right there. Grab your yarn, pull it through, 2 loops, wrap it, pull through. When you're going through the yarn and you're trying to grab when you're going through the V's and you're trying to grab your yarn, turn your needle to the side. I think that's easier. Turn it to the side and let it grab that yarn instead of keeping it up like this and trying to do it, because you'll never get it through there. See how much harder that is? So just take it, turn it so it can grab that yarn, pull it through both loops or both V's, and wrap it. Do the next one. Put it through the next one. Then you get to the end. Sometimes when you get to that end, it is a little tough, but if you've been counting and you know that you're on number 6, you still have one more to go. Just put your needle or your hook underneath those 2, and sometimes it's hard to do, but you just put your needle like I'm doing and sort of guide it with your fingernail. And I'm under both of them. Wrap the yarn. Remember, turn to the side. Pull through. Pull through. Now we're at the end. So now we have to chain 1. Because remember, we have to turn it. Turn it like a book. We're going to go back the other way. Stick the needle in. So there's 1. Stick the needle in. There's 2. Stick the needle in. There's 3. 4. Now on this one you can see I grabbed and my yarn's all wonky. That's okay. I'm just going to take out the needle or the hook, pull that out, and I'm just going to start over. And I'm at 1, 2, 3. So this one's going to be number 4. I don't know what number I'm on, so let's see. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and I'm at the end. Chain stitch, turn like a book, and I'm going to go back the other way. So now you are making your foundation chain with a single crochet. This can be used for a dishcloth or anything. You can even make it with a scarf or a blanket. You can get bigger yarn and you can go that route, but this is a good dishcloth. And if you come on back next week, I'm going to show you how to make a dishcloth. So that is crocheting your foundation chain and single crochet in under 10 minutes. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you'll subscribe to the channel to join me, Lady Bouillon, also known as Angela, doing life. I'll see y'all later. Shine on, everybody.